All right. Hello, you guys. So today's video is for children, kids of all ages. You could also fall into this category if you're an adult and you are working on healing your inner child, and you want to just shed some light on some deeper wisdom and understanding. So, little ones, listen up. I saw something yesterday, and I'm not going to go into specifics, between a mother and her children that broke my heart. And I just wanted to come through and share something. I'm not a mother myself, but I'm here to be a mother for you. If you didn't grow up around family members that gave you proper guidance, that's what I'm here for in this moment, okay? So if your mom or dad or aunt or uncle or cousin or family member does something, says something that hurts you, or that's inappropriate, or that makes you feel scared, any of the above, anything that doesn't make you feel safe. There are parents that are human. So your parents are going to make mistakes. That's normal. So I'm not talking about the normal, my mom's so annoying, my dad's so annoying. That's okay. That's normal. Parents are going to be parents, and we'll understand one day when we're parents. But your parents are doing extreme things, and your inner wisdom is telling you it's hurtful or it's off, or it just makes you feel sad or insecure or uncomfortable. I want you to know that even though you're experiencing that, and your inner wisdom, your common sense inside will tell you what to do in that moment and how to handle what you need to handle, or who to talk to, or what to do to keep you as safe as you can be in that moment. I want you to know something really important. It's not about you, how they're acting, okay? It's not personal. And I'm going to try to explain this in a way that makes sense, instead of just saying to you, it's not about you, and you just kind of saying, yeah, I know. Your parents, all of us, your family, whoever's raising you, grandparents, sister, brother, we are all in our own little George Jetson bubbles, okay? So we all have our own separate earth, separate countries, separate realities, if you know that word. So we're all in our own little George Jetson bubble, okay, driving around. And what happens is a thought comes into our George Jetson bubble, our head. We feel that thought. Sometimes we know those as feelings or emotions. And then it's reflected out into the world, onto earth. So if your mom or dad, they're in their own little George Jetson bubble, a thought pops in their own bubble, not yours, not anyone else's, their own, that says, just going to give you an example. You're a bad kid. Okay, maybe they say something like that. That isn't about you. That's their own George Jetson bubble. Any thought could pop in there. That's how they were raised, how they grew up, what they believed in that was passed down from their parents or their aunts or uncles, or whatever world that they grew up in. Those thoughts stick inside their George Jetson bubble because they don't realize that they're just thoughts. And they don't realize that they have their own separate George Jetson bubble. Okay, so you're a bad kid pops in, they feel it, they don't realize it's Play-Doh. Thought is Play-Doh. There's lots of options of Play-Doh that we can play with. They don't realize that. And so then they project it out into the world, out onto you. So they feel this feeling and they don't realize it's just their own reality, their own George Jetson bubble. And they say to you, you're a bad kid. And then because you don't realize it's not about you, it's not personal, it's their own experience, it's wherever their mind learned to go, then you take it personally and you start to feel ashamed and you start to feel sad and you think that you are a bad kid, okay? But your parents are doing it in innocence, okay? They have a lot of pain in them if they're doing things like that to you. They have a lot of fear and a lot of pain, and they have been disconnected from their center, from their heart. So all of us at our core, at our home base, we all have peace. We all have clarity. We all have new ideas and fresh thinking and warm feelings and love towards each other. But we forget that because we're in our own little George Jetson bubble, and thoughts come through, right? Like asteroids in the sky, they come through and we believe them. And then that creates our world, and we project them out onto the other people around us. So if you can kind of start to see your parents, your family, everyone in their own little separate George Jetson bubbles running around. We have our own separate thoughts, own separate stars, asteroids, all this stuff coming into our George Jetson bubble. And it's going to look like life is making us feel that way. It's to your parents, it looks like you are making them feel a certain way, but they're only ever feeling their thinking. Because remember, thought and feeling is the same side of the coin. We feel a thought, right? And then that can turn into a behavior. But they're only ever feeling a thought, and then if they don't know that they're in a separate reality and they're in a George Jetson bubble, it's going to get barfed out onto you innocently. So we're just in a really big misunderstanding, and so you can protect yourself by, instead of taking their behavior personally, you can go, wow. It's not to say that it's right at all, okay? But my mom or dad is in a lot of pain, and they're experiencing the thinking that's on their mind in the moment. Could have been any thinking, but whatever thinking their mind learned to go to, that's what they're experiencing. And so if it's sad thinking, they're going to feel sad. If it's angry thinking, they're going to feel angry. If it's mean thinking, they're going to be mean. But that's happening in their own little reality. And it looks like it's about me, but it's not. It's them experiencing their own thinking projected out onto me. And so I can kind of step back and observe it a little bit and go, wow, they're feeling their own thinking and it looks like it's about me, right? And so we just don't want to get ourselves so tangled into their pain. So I just want you to know that you are not the pain. You are not the fears. You are not the thoughts of the family members or the people that came before you or that raised you. You are something more profound. You are love, and you are wisdom, and you are clarity, and you are power and creativity. You have all of that stuff in you, and no one can take that away from you. You might forget it a little bit, but you're the sky, and the thinking is the weather and the clouds, and it comes and goes. So none of this means that you won't be sad if your parents act inappropriately or angry, or all of those feelings are valid and they make sense given our circumstances. But we can experience more of that warmth and magic and love and safety and comfort inside of ourselves, because that's where it lives, in our own little George Jetson bubble. We're in a world of billions of people, and we're all in our own little George Jetson bubbles, having our own experience, forgetting that, and then making it about other people. And then the other people get really sad because we pull them into it, right? We pull them into our George Jetson bubble and we say that it's about them. But if you had a different parent that had different feelings that was projected out onto you, and they said they had, a George Jetson bubble of, oh, I'm so happy and you're a great kid, they'd project that out onto you. So you'd go, okay, that's me. It's about me. But maybe you can start to kind of look at thought like it's just creative Play-Doh. There's lots of options. And I hope this makes sense, but it's not personal. It's just kind of what's moving through your bubble at a certain time, and it comes and it goes. And when it settles, the thinking, all that's left is that warm feeling, okay? So just know that you can protect yourself and stay safer when those around you might be doing something inappropriate. You can just go, this isn't about me. This never was, no matter how mean they get or how crazy they get or how inappropriate they get. They're having their own experience of their pain inside, and they might use my name or say mean things. But it's not about me. It's just being projected out, those types of thoughts. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Please write to me if you kind of hear something true in this and you're not 100% sure what I'm saying. You can message me on here, or at my Instagram at Jamie Wozni, or my website, jamiewozni.com. Okay, because I want to make sure that this makes sense and that you know that deep down you're a good kid. We all make mistakes. Maybe there's some behaviors you need to correct or improve upon gently. But no one's a bad kid. You know, we do everything that we do out of innocence, and sometimes we're raised by parents that are in pain, and we don't get the right guidance. Okay, so you're tough, you're strong, you got this. Hang in there, and you reach out to me if you need me. Okay, take care.